It's Wednesday afternoon, September 17th, post-market, and the Fed interest rate decision today was to cut 25 basis points as expected, and the dot plot is to cut 25 basis points for the following two meetings for the remainder of the year, which is also what was expected. Today there was only one dissenter, and he was dissenting to cut more. And for the following, for the dot plot, there's quite a few dissenters calling for no more cuts after this meeting, which is a bit telling. The market finished pretty much sideways, which I would say is positive for the market, given that it was already at all-time highs and getting kind of extended. If you look at see how it went for the day, it was going sideways. And then this is 1 o'clock when the decision came out, which it ran up following the decision at first, and then was running down pretty heavily during Powell's speech, and then recovered pretty strongly during the press conference, and ends up finishing pretty much sideways. So this is positive news for the market, I would say, given that they're already all-time highs. However, being fairly extended, I would be cautious, but I'm not necessarily bearish right now. Bitcoin I like a little bit more though. One thing I really like about Bitcoin is from this low, and it ran up, and instead of pulling it right here for this little time period, it could have been pulling downward, and instead it went sideways. So I would say that's bullish. I'd be looking for Bitcoin to extend, maybe not right away, maybe right away, maybe not right away, but I think it ends up here and doesn't I don't think it'll break below here or below here. Definitely not below here. I don't believe it breaks below here probably ever. For Bitcoin play, I like MSTR. They're more leveraged because they own Bitcoin with borrowed money. So if Bitcoin goes up, MSTR goes up a lot more. Maybe not necessarily if Bitcoin just goes up a little bit, but if Bitcoin makes new all-time highs or goes up a lot. Open has continued. Opendoor has become a bit of a meme stock and has a huge run up from this 51-cent low at the end of June, and it's ran up tremendously, as you can see, and it has maintained that price. I would be shorting it from here. I don't know about puts because it is holding the price pretty well, but I don't really think it breaks much higher, or if it does break higher, I think ultimately it's going to come back. I think it comes back to earth. Chart looks okay. Like I say, after a run up, this is also kind of a consolidation. However, I think it's disconnected from fundamentals. However, they could get their margins fixed to where they're making money on their flips and turn the business around. But we'll see about that. Moderna has had a good few days because they had good clinical data. The chart I was and am very bearish on because it looks like crap. Especially, it's like the opposite of what I just said about Bitcoin, where it goes down and goes sideways. So falling down, and instead of pulling back, has some pullbacks, but always comes back down to the price it was at, including here. And so, if this is going to turn things around, even in the short term, it's definitely going to need to get above this recent high from today and keep pushing up. If it starts stuttering or falling back down, then very bearish. But they had good clinical data. They're getting some good news, maybe some FDA approval. So perhaps short term has some good days, but they got to get their earnings taken care of, and I don't see that happening. Their estimated earnings coming up is to lose $2.02 a share, and they've been losing about that much for the last few earnings. So yeah, they're going to have to straighten that up, and I don't really see that happening. Did I mention? Yeah, I did mention MSTR. Like MSTR. Yeah, I mentioned MSTR and Open. The only other one then is AGQ, which I'm not too interested in reading the chart, but this is just a silver ETF. Silver, I think, is a solid investment. The best one when you are talking about a safe investment and return on your money. And so I think that covers everything. I covered Open, MSTR, Moderna, Bitcoin, and the general market. Next week, I Probably not Monday and Tuesday, but for the remainder of the week, I'll probably be doing a live stream during the market hours, keeping you posted on what's going on during the market. And then for the following weeks, whenever I have a free day, I will be doing that. And I'm going to try to get to the point of being able to do that every day, live streaming the market, providing good value, no clutter noise, no extra bullshit on the screen or noise and whatever, just something that you can play while you want to know what the market's doing during the day, and you can't be watching it on your phone all day. And so there's that. Good luck, everybody. I'll catch you next time.